What is hypothalamus? Hypothalamus is a part of brain located just below the cerebrum, but it has a group of neurosecretory cells and secrete hormones. Hormones secreted by hypothalamus is able to control the metabolism of adenohypophysis, so-called anterior lobe of pituitary. Since pituitary itself is controlled by hypothalamus, so hypothalamus is said to be ... No, adenohypophysis or pituitary is known as master gland. Pituitary is called master gland. But pituitary itself is controlled by hypothalamus. So hypothalamus should be known as master of master gland. Master of master gland. She is known as master of master gland. Is it clear? This is the anterior lobe of pituitary. This is called anterior lobe of pituitary. So hypothalamus is known as supreme commander. Hypothalamus is said to be supreme commander. It controls the metabolism of adenohypophysis here. Anterior lobe of pituitary. As you know, anterior lobe of pituitary, so-called adenohypophysis, secretes GTH. It secretes gonadotropic hormone. Gonadotropic hormone includes two groups. One is FSH, another one is LH. One is luteinizing hormone, another one is follicle stimulating hormone. So adenohypophysis secretes luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone. Okay. Now come to the site of action of LH and FSH. LH acts on endocrine part of testis. Endocrine part of testis is known as Leydig cell, is also known as interstitial cell. So LH acts on Leydig cell or interstitial cell for what? For the secretion of testosterone. Testosterone is a kind of testicular androgens. It is a type of testicular androgens. Is it clear? Testosterone is a male reproductive hormone and is known as testicular androgen. Testosterone, as you know, it acts on secondary male sex organ, secondary male. This is the symbol of male. ये किसका symbol है? Male का. So it acts on secondary male sex organ or secondary male reproductive organ and accessory gland. What are the male accessory glands? Male accessory glands like number 1 seminal vesicle, number 2 prostate gland, and number 3 Cowper's gland. Cowper's gland is also known as bulbourethral gland. So testosterone, this male reproductive hormone, acts on secondary male reproductive organs as well as accessory glands. Okay. Now come to the action of FSH. Follicle stimulating hormone acts on which cell? Sertoli cell is commonly known as commonly known as nurse cell. It means it provides nutrition to developing sperms. Sperm means spermatozoon or spermatozoa. That is why the term is Sertoli cell or nurse cell. Okay. Sertoli cell secretes number 1 ABP, androgen binding protein. ABP means androgen binding protein. And number 2 inhibin. See, a proteinous hormone which inhibits the secretion of FSH. Inhibin is a hormone, inhibin is a factor which is able to inhibit the secretion of FSH by adenohypophysis. Now the question is, how inhibin prevents the secretion of FSH? From blood itself, this information goes to hypothalamus. Once inhibin is secreted, this will be automatically informed to hypothalamus through blood vessels. Okay? Hypothalamus will give negative stimulus to adenohypophysis, just not to secrete FSH. Is it clear? Once inhibin is secreted, एक बार inhibin secrete किया तो ये inhibin क्या होगा? हाइपोथैलेमस को मालूम हो जाएगा कि inhibin रिलीज हुआ है, ये यहां से नेगेटिव स्टिमुलस देगा. किसे? एडिनोहाइपोफाइसिस को. एडिनोहाइपोफाइसिस को नेगेटिव स्टिमुलस क्या देगा? कि तुरंत एफएसएच का सेक्रीशन बंद किया जाए. इज इट क्लियर? तो जहां नेगेटिव स्टिमुलस आया तो एडिनोहाइपोफाइसिस विल स्टॉप सेक्रेटिंग FSH. Is it clear? तो अब आप देखो, what is the role of ABP? It concentrates the amount of testosterone. It concentrates the amount of testosterone. नंबर 2, यहां इनहिबिन का फंक्शन मैंने बता दिया. अब आप देखो एक इंपॉर्टेंट चीज, the main function of FSH is to stimulate spermatogenesis. The main function of FSH क्या बताया मैंने? Just to stimulate spermatogenesis. कैसे पॉसिबल है? एक बार फिर मैं पूरे को बता देता हूं. हाइपोथैलेमस इज कॉमनली नोन एज supreme commander. Why is hypothalamus said to be supreme commander? Because it controls the metabolism of master gland. Which one is master gland? Pituitary gland. Adenohypophysis is anterior lobe of pituitary. Adenohypophysis is a part of pituitary gland. Pituitary is commonly known as master gland because pituitary controls the metabolism of so many endocrine glands. But pituitary itself is controlled by hypothalamus, so hypothalamus is said to be supreme commander. Here adenohypophysis secretes 2 hormones, both belong to GTH, gonadotropic hormone. So LH acts on Leydig cell or interstitial cell for the secretion of testosterone. Okay. Secretion of testosterone depends upon the activity of Leydig cell. Leydig cell is located outside the seminiferous tubules. What is the location of Leydig cell? Outside the seminiferous tubules in the connective tissue. It is confined to the connective tissue outside the seminiferous tubules. And what about Sertoli cell? Commonly known as nurse cell. It provides nutrient to developing sperms. It secretes 2 group of hormones. One is ABP, another one is inhibin. ABP is commonly known as androgen binding protein and another one is inhibin. What about ABP? ABP concentrates the amount of testosterone. What is the site of action of testosterone? It acts on secondary male reproductive organ or sex organ and accessory glands like seminal vesicle, prostate gland and Copper's gland. What about inhibin? Once inhibin is secreted through bloodstream, this signal automatically goes to hypothalamus. Hypothalamus will give negative stimulus to adenohypophysis, not to secrete FSH. So secretion of FSH is stopped. So this is all about the hormonal control of male reproductive system. Is it clear or any doubt?